Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom, thank you for joining me. Today's episode I wanted to talk about what is the narcissist's type. And the reason I wanted to discuss this, I was having a chat with a client and she was talking to me about how she said, I'm not his usual type. He goes for, a specific type of woman. And I found that really, really interesting because I think that there is an element of mythology around this. I think that in actuality, what happens for anyone who is with a narcissist for any period of time, when they're going through the devaluation and discard phase, the narcissist is specifically telling them, you're not good enough, I don't like this about you, you're not this, that, what have you. But essentially what they're doing, I mean, like I said, this is just the devaluation. This is actually not a reflection of you as an individual or as a person. It's more an indication of just how nasty a narcissist can be. But this kind of idea that, that there's, a type that they go for, I just don't think this is a real thing. I mean, sure, maybe we all have certain, things that we look for, certain attributes that we find more attractive than others, for example. But I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, what the narcissist is really looking for is someone that they can affect, someone that they have an impact upon. So they don't want someone who is too confident, too strong, too successful. I mean, you can be all of those things and still be easily affected by another individual. So, if you were all of those things, like I said, but you still had this kind of vulnerability where the narcissist managed to be in your world, be in your space, get fuel from you and kind of play all these major head games with you, that is the narcissist's type. They want someone, like I said, who's affected by them, someone who lights up and is excited to see them when they walk into the room, someone who who they can play all their games with, who's going to still keep pumping out fuel though. Fuel is essentially what the narcissist is really wanting from you. It doesn't really matter. Like all the rest is kind of superficial. There's always, like I said, this element of they need fuel. They're like energetic vampires. They need you to make them feel good about themselves. They need that energetic hit. So like I said, if you imagine, what it's like when the narcissist comes home and you're all excited and happy to see them, you're like the welcoming committee, right? They love that stuff. That's great. And the same also applies if you're upset, because you found out that, I don't know, it's cheating or sneaking around or doing something, and so you're waiting to confront him. I mean, that's just as much fuel. It's different fuel, but, it's just as much fuel. So that is what they're really looking for. So what they're doing when they're saying, oh, you're not really my type, or oh, I wish you were more like so-and-so, or they might not even say it in those kind of, overt ways. They might be more covert and subtle. So they might say it in, ways, for example, or do it in ways where, like, I don't know, you come out, you're dressed, you're going out somewhere, and they don't make any comment on the way you look, but then when your best friend or sister or, whoever walks into the room, they make comments about, how good she looks and blah, blah, blah. So covert, that's covert manipulation. And it's, it's a subtle way of kind of making someone feel like they're not good enough, like they have to be more like so-and-so, or be different. Essentially, that, they're asking or wanting you to be different. But all it's doing is, like I said, is damaging your self-esteem. It's making you work harder for the relationship. So now you feel like, oh, I've got to do this for him to want me, love me, have me around, whatever. So, to be in the narcissist's good graces, essentially, you're literally trying to morph yourself into a different character. So not healthy, super toxic. And once again, like I said, even if you were the complete opposite. So in this woman's case, we'll put it this way. So in her particular case, she is quite she's a beautiful woman. She's a very classy woman. She doesn't really show off her body. She's not, she's kind of more subdued. And his type is what he refers to as the more slutty type. He likes women who expose themselves when they go out, with low cleavage, high, short skirts, that kind of thing. So the point that I'm making here is, even if she went and tried to live up to that image, he'd still find a flaw. And if that was her natural style, trust and believe, like to those other women who his now new supply sources are, trust and believe he's telling those women that he wishes she was more like his ex, because she's super classy. It's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. They don't have a particular type. Like I said, the only type is someone that they can manipulate. Okay, and once you stop being that person, then you're not as attractive to them anymore. Once you actually get, you become more assertive, once you figure out what's going on and you figure them out, that's not as attractive as someone who's a bit ditzy and a bit dumb or a bit naive or a bit new and fresh. Figuring out a narcissist takes time. So the new supply is always going to have that that kind of one up on you. This is why you don't compare yourself to the new supply. You don't compare yourself to the other women that the narcissist is referring to. Okay? You need to cut ties with the narcissist, essentially. Get away from them. Because, like I said, you're never going to get well. It's never going to be good. There's no happy ending with these people. It just goes from bad to worse, to worse, to worse, to worse. And then at the end of the day, it's always going to end badly. It's either you're going to leave them or they're going to leave you. So the games have to stop somewhere. So, like I said, just know, there's no type. There's no one better than you that's more suited. That's all, like I said, just part of the manipulation and the mythology around narcissists. All right, lovelies. I hope that helps for anyone who's comparing themselves, because, it kind of makes me sad to think that narcissists really do manage to play these games. But obviously, the longer you're away from them, the more you wise up to this stuff and you realize and see it for the game that it actually is. Anyhow, all right, lovelies. Thanks for listening. Bye.